Hello, my name is Lynette. Today we're going to talk about changing your mind and your body will follow. Last week we talked about healing your mind and your body will follow. But by changing it, that means getting around the negativity and getting into more of a positive attitude. That's not always an easy thing to do, especially since we're surrounded by negative people. For example, I noticed that when I tried to be more positive, I really realized how many people called me and vented in a way that it was like they were using me as their sounding board. Instead of having a real problem that they needed a friend, it was more habitual than anything else. I realize we are surrounded by bad news on the media, but I think we have become a negative society and almost lost sight of how to be happy and laugh and just enjoy. For example, I had ordered a pizza for my lunch and I was looking forward to having a nice sit-down time and something good to eat while watching TV. And my phone rang. I saw on caller ID it was my friend, so I picked up. And she started going on and on about her job. It was so negative that I was eating while she was talking, but I got to tell you, at the end of our conversation, my pizza was gone. I don't even remember tasting it. And what she had to say was, "Oh, I feel better now." And that taught me then and there that you don't need to be someone's sounding board. That doesn't mean when a friend has a problem, you're not going to be there for them, because when we really are going through something, we need to be there for each other. I hope when I have situations going on in my life that I have friends that'll listen to me as well. But some people have become so inundated with negativity that is all they talk about. I said yesterday to somebody, I have noticed how much negativity people talk about when they call, that the only time that I'm pretty much not getting negativity is when I call customer service for something. Those people don't vent to me. It's more or less me venting to them. It's interesting, though, when you try to change either your thinking or who you want to be, the resistance that you get from certain people. They say misery loves company. Maybe that has something to do with it. I know I shared with you earlier that I had a nickname since I was a baby, actually. And when I tried to eliminate that and not be called that anymore, the resistance that I got, especially from one person in particular, and still to this day, if you can believe it, they still call me that. And then they say, oops. There is a resistance when you try to better yourself. But remember, you got to hold on to the fact that everything you do is right. It's the best you can be. It doesn't matter if it makes you a success or if you fail at it. You know that old saying, you learn from your failures. Success is good, of course, but you don't need a confirmation from anybody else. You know when you're trying to take a step forward. And by trying to be more of a positive person, you're going to be a happier person. I think we've really have lost the gift of just laughter. I was thinking the other day about, during this pandemic, what I really missed. And no, it wasn't traveling. It wasn't going to nice restaurants. It wasn't going to concerts or big parties. It was this couple that they would invite me for dinner occasionally. And being at their house, it was so warm and full of love. Good food, good wine, good conversation. Never was it a venting fest. Never was it he said, she said. Never was it a gossip fest. And I noticed when I would be at that house that I always felt good. So you have to ask yourself, what is it that makes you feel good? And I think we all like to be around good, positive people. It goes back to that old saying, it's not what people say or do, it's how they make you feel. In the last episode, we mentioned that when you get solid in who you are, what your likes are, you become a magnet to others. And the same thing goes when you become a positive, more happy person. They may not even know why, but people like to be around others that make them feel good. I have a friend who has a lot of interesting quotes, and one of them was, if you quack like a duck and walk like a duck, you are a duck. And with that being said, I think when you surround yourself with negativity, whether it be news, gossip, whatever it is, you become that person. But the big picture is, I think we need to get back to finding out how to be truly happy, how to laugh, how to enjoy life. I know, again, like I said, we all have things that we need to vent, especially when they're big issues. But as far as the little things go, and as far as gossip and that sort of thing, by talking about it over and over, it just keeps it alive. It keeps the pot stirred. In fact, have you ever noticed that when you're talking to someone and you get in the mode of whether it be gossip or complaining, that when it's all over, when you leave the person you're talking with, that you end up not feeling good. It doesn't feel good to bring up what's in the past, what has happened, what bothers you. It's finding out what you like, who you are. And it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks. So long as you're always walking toward and working toward being the best you that you can be. The markers are not by success or failure. The markers are how you handle it. Because when you know you're moving forward, you're learning from your mistakes, or you're successful in what you've worked really hard at. So as we move forward toward health and happiness, really observe how many times you're used as a sounding board and try to detour that situation. Again, like I said, I know we all need to vent sometimes. I think I developed listening to people because I was so appreciative of a friend that used to listen to me vent a lot but sometimes I think people know they can call you and you will listen. I had to really observe that. I thought, surely these people cannot talk to everybody the way they're talking to me, or who would want to be around them. So I started either changing the subject or saying I had to go. So I think by doing so, I'm now getting more of a respectful conversation. Again, it takes time, it takes work, and there is resistance. And trying to be the better you, the resistance from other people may be because they don't want to take steps forward in life, which is fine. So they'll try to hold you where they are, but don't allow that. Move forward. Try to surround yourself with more positive people. I know we can't go 5 seconds without the news media throwing some negativity in our face. I try not to watch the news too much, but even so, in between television shows, they feel the need to give us the highlights of what horrible things happened. It's almost a fight to try to be a positive person. I had a girl come over yesterday, and she has gone through a lot. Believe me, if anybody has a right to complain, it would be this girl. And yet she really held back on sharing. And so it goes to extreme the other way too. I almost had to pull some of it out of her because I thought this girl's going to explode. So I think it can be taken to extreme either way. I mean, when it is something really serious, when we do need to vent, let's hope we have a friend or someone to talk to, if not a professional. But as far as being in that negative mode on a constant day-to-day basis, and again, I think it becomes a habit. I think it becomes who you are. Really focus on the way you're thinking, the way you're talking. And if it needs to be changed, then do your best to change it. Work at it. Try to be happy. Try to surround yourself with happy people. Try to laugh more. I personally love to laugh. I love when people make me laugh. It's not to say life is always a carnival or always a circus, but it's also not always doom and gloom. So with that being said, let's try to change our thoughts to be more of a positive person, more of a happy person. Person being the key word, you do need to respect the fact that life does have bumps in the roads, ups and downs, peaks and valleys. So you do need to have someone to talk to about the negative things that might be happening in your life. But for the most part, learn to smile, learn to laugh. Funniest thing is that it takes effort. It shouldn't. It should be the easiest thing in the world. But again, because this world unfortunately surrounds us with so much negativity, really fight to break through it, and you will be healthier and happier for it. God bless. Talk to you soon.